Chris from Workman Tactical, and today I just want to give you a quick rundown on my NRL22 rig. It's a Bergara B14R carbon steel barrel. This rifle is fantastic. I love the way it shoots. It's very accurate, and that really depends on your ammo. We'll get into that later. But I really enjoy it. And what's awesome is it's based on a Remington 700 platform, so the aftermarket is huge, and that goes for chassis, triggers, you name it. If it's Remington 700, it's adaptable to this. So excellent rifle, I love it. I did a lot of research before I made the purchase on this one, and the reviews that I read from different forums was that the carbon steel barrel was more accurate. So I went with that. I'm glad I did because I like the weight. I like my rifles heavy, competition rifles, and this one fits the bill. All right, so let's get into the stock. So what you see right here is a factory Bergara B14R with some personal modifications. I like to make things mine, put my own little twist on things. The stock itself is the factory Bergara stock. It's rigid, it works. I know there were cycling issues with people putting different chassis and everything on, but I wanted to, one, make it better and make it mine. So, as you can see, I just did a faux Manners paint job. This is just Rust-Oleum. I did a flat black Rust-Oleum camo base coat, and then I just used a color of tan and a green. And I put the paint on after I put the Marine Tex on. So what you see here is basically just Marine Tex. I'll probably put out a video in the future on how to do this, but it's really simple. I've done it to a couple rifles, and it gives a lot of grip. From the factory, it was a little slick in the hands, but you know, after adding the Marine Tex and the paint, it's been fantastic. And then over time, you know, I just wanted a little more comfort for my cheek, so I put just a piece of adhesive foam on the back of it, on the comb rather. So very comfortable. It's custom fit for me, and I love it. I get compliments on the look of it. You know, people think that it's a Manners from a distance, and then I get to tell my story. So it's awesome. Really enjoy the rifle. All right, so the scope. This is a Vortex Strike Eagle 5-25. It's a first focal plane scope. It has the EBR-7 reticle, which is a milled Christmas tree. Every scope that I own that I shoot is a milled Christmas tree, because if I'm working a range run type stage, I want to make sure that I can hold over. Some stages you're not allowed to dial, right? So it's good to practice holding over. A lot of people don't because they don't have the confidence in being able to do that. But if you practice it, it becomes second nature, and it's excellent. Christmas trees are awesome. But I do dial. I do dial if it's a fixed distance stage, just because it's a lot easier. It's faster, right? Holdovers, dialing, that's up to you, but this is just how I like to pursue different stages. It really depends on the course of fire and the stage description. So one thing I will add is I got this scope for free. So I shoot the IWI Gas Gun Challenge, and throughout the season, they're really awesome because everyone has a fair chance. Like, you show up to the match, you get your ticket. At the end of the match, they put everything in a hat, and then it's just a random drawing. So I was fortunate enough to win this scope. I was originally going to put an ARCA on there. They're excellent scopes, but this was the right price. Thank you, IWI, for what you do. It's a really awesome opportunity for everybody. Then you don't have the top people winning the same every single match. So it's fair for everybody. It's a huge opportunity, and they have great sponsors. So it was a free scope, but it's been excellent. It tracks really well. If I want to shoot at my home range, 340 yards, basically it's a 17 or 18 mil hold, and I can dial every bit of that with the scope. So it's been excellent. That's about it for the scope. So how do I mount the scope, right? I'm using MDT 34 millimeter lightweight scope rings. They hold 0. There's not a lot of recoil on 22, but they have been excellent so far. Really simple install. Let me just turn the rifle around so you can take a look at it. You can see that it has 2 screws to really clamp down on the Picatinny rail. As you can see, I torque everything on here, and I put timing marks on it. So that way, if something changes, the first thing I do is look at the screws, the timing marks, and see if something loosened up. In a pinch, it's happened before. I've tightened it back up to that timing mark if it has moved, which is rare, and it puts it right back to where it was. So it's important to have that, because if you don't have your torque wrench with you, but you do have timing marks, you can kind of get it pretty darn close to what it originally was. So I put timing marks on everything. Really like the scope rings. So the scope base is a Tally 30 MOA Picatinny rail. It's made for the Remington 700 short action. This one's been pretty cool because take a look through here, you can see it has a little scope level. It's good, it's a good design. I'll be honest with you, I never use it. I really use my Vortex scope level because it's in my line of sight. When I'm looking through the scope, over the scope, this is always in my line of sight. So this one is definitely my go-to. Okay, so what you see here is a custom ARCA Rail. A good friend of mine, he made this for me. It's made out of carbon steel. It weighs a ton, and it's exactly what I wanted. The balance of this rifle is really good. I was always a Picatinny rail guy, I still am, but for competition guns, I really like how the ARCA system works. If you're shooting a barrel, right, that's a common prop in NRL22. Basically, what a lot of guys are gonna do is set their bipod up, get their rear squeeze bag underneath the gun, and now you have a small area where you can be rock solid and stable to take your shots from. And ARCA allows you to do that on the fly. So it's been really excellent. Really enjoy the ARCA. And let's set this up here. So what am I using as a bipod? Well, this is a Magpul ARCA Picatinny adapter. It's got a really nice knurled knob. It shrinks down. And I don't know if you can see it, but they have little notches in here, and that's what actually locks it into your Picatinny rail. So I really like this one because it's adaptable. I can put this on basically every rifle that I have that has a Picatinny or ARCA rail. And it's just really quick on the fly adjustments. It locks up really tight, it's reliable, I haven't had any issues. So I mate the bipod to this ARCA adapter with an Area 419 Harris bipod adapter. It's really simple to swap out. It allows me to use this whole system. It uses an ARMS 17S mounting system, so the center of the holes are standard with that. But it's been excellent. And this is just your standard Harris 6-9 bench rest bipod. It's got notched legs. And rule of thumb for myself, I never change my bipod height because most of the ranges that I compete at are flat. So when I go prone, it's already set up, it's ready to go. And finally, I have a KMW clamp, and that just snugs everything down so I can level my rifle, snug it, and I'm good to go. This right here, I use on everything. It's interchangeable. That's how you save money. I also want to add that I use a Area 419 barricade stop. It just clamps right onto the ARCA rail. Firearm's always safe and empty. Bone stock factory mags, and you can see that if you drive this into a prop or anything, that it will not affect the performance or the function of the magazine feeding system. So that's been really good. I also I make bags. That's how Working Man Tactical started. This is the Bartrappe Mini, Bartrappe for barricades and tank traps. It's a really popular bag. I've sold them from Pennsylvania out to Oregon, Montana to Florida. These bags are all over the country right now, and I really appreciate everyone that's supporting me, purchasing them, and giving me great feedback. It's a design that I came up with just through experience, right? But it creates a rock solid, simple platform, and it mounts via Picatinny rail. Just snug that on. You can see it has a lip, so when you drive it into that barricade, boom, it's ready to go. So ladder stages and stuff, it's really solid. I really like it. So hit me up if you want to purchase one. All right, so let's talk about ammo. So within 50 yards, a lot of ammo shoots really well, and there's thousands of videos out there on ammunition, right, for 22. Most important thing that you can do is practice, right? And find an ammo around that works well for you. So this right here, CCI standard velocity, is amazing for the price. At 50 yards, I don't really see any difference performance-wise from more expensive ammo, but you have to try your own to find out. But if I'm shooting 50 yards, even like 100, you really start to see like the velocity affect the groupings, right? At 100 yards, you start to see how the velocity affects it. But for 50-yard practice, it's fantastic. You can't beat it. And it'll reach out to 200 yards, and it'll reach out to 300 yards. It's just you trying that out and just putting a bigger piece of steel out there, right? So my competition ammo that I use is SK Long Range Match. It's at 50 yards, it punches one hole with this rifle. I really, really like it. I wish it was easier to find, and it's very consistent. So NRL22, you know, before we shoot our matches, we shoot to verify our zero first thing in the morning, and I always set up my magneto speed chronograph, and I just double check the velocity. Typically, my average velocity during the summertime is 1107. The SD is about 6. Single digit SDs are amazing. And again, like I said earlier, my farthest shot that I can take at my home club is about 340 yards. And I'm holding 18 mils to reach out that distance. And this scope, it allows me to do that. The ammo, it puts consistent hits on things. And it's really amazing what 22s can do when you try. So why did I buy this rifle? I was shooting an NRL22 match, and one of the stages had smaller targets at 100 yards, and I love my Savage. I got one of the original Mark II TRs when they came out, and it was accurate, you know, had a long barrel on it, and it got me into the game. I really enjoyed it. But that one stage, I was shooting 100 yards, a small target, and I could not hit it as consistently as I thought I should. I felt rock solid on every trigger pull, following through with every shot, and it just wasn't happening. So that day, I made up in my mind that it was time to upgrade rifles, and I'm glad I did. I really, really, really enjoy this rifle. But after research, practice, you name it, the problem really was the CCI. It's not as accurate for that rifle as it could be at distance, right? Did I try a lot of different brands of good ammunition with that rifle? Not as much as I should have, but ultimately, I got a Remington 700 platform. I have an insane aftermarket, and I can do anything I want to this. But did I? No. I made the gun mine. I like to keep things affordable, hence working man, right? Working man's budget. I do everything myself, you know, a little bit of marine tech, some spray paint, simple things, and this gun is mine, and I really enjoy it. So if you're looking to make an investment on a 22 rifle, the CZ 457s are excellent, 455s. The Vudoo is well out of my price range. I don't think I'd ever be able to, not that I wouldn't be able to afford it, but am I going to perform that much better with that rifle versus this? And the answer is no. There's a lot of videos out there. These things are accurate, and I'm gonna run this into the ground. It's gonna outlive me, and you know, I'm just gonna shoot it till the very end. But that's it for my video. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this. If you have any questions, just put it in the comments below. And if you have questions about how to do the marine techs, hit me up in the comments. Maybe I'll make a video for you guys just to show you how to do it. It's really easy, and it does make a difference. So again, I thank you for taking the time to watch this video today. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the range. Thanks.